Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dio's Bizarre Holiday Singles. We're here with another losers bracket match in Tier 1, this time between NINERIK and Lexus. NINERIK actually dropping to losers bracket last weekend against Welter in the quarterfinals. That match was extremely close, 6-4, but ultimately Welter just barely getting the win there and knocking NINERIK, I think, one of the contenders to win the tournament, into losers bracket. I'm Dio. I'm here with iFlame for this match. What's up, man?
Not too much. This will be a match, I think, is about all you can say. It certainly feels quite NINERIK favored. I mean, even though NINERIK did lose last week, did actually still have the top performance score of the weekend, which is very unusual in a loss. But I guess just won his own picks by more points. Suffice it to say, after getting the top performance score last week and being dropped down to the losers bracket, NINERIK is not going to take this match lightly as one of the favorites to potentially win this one. I think it's going to take this one pretty seriously and not risk getting eliminated in losers bracket. Lexus, meanwhile, has been fighting their way through the losers bracket. Did have some decent scores last week. Top score on No Mod 1, and generally good scores on a lot of the ones. I think Hidden 1, DT1 had some really good scores, but outside of some of those aim-focused picks, did struggle a bit more. So we'll see. Obviously, going to be banning out speed because you just can't leave speed open against NINERIK. NINERIK is going to look to abuse the tapping as much as possible. NINERIK does not want to play Spelunker, that IO exception map. You generally know what to expect from those. They're pretty out there. They're your No Mod 6s, and it's going to ban out the No Mod 4 tech pick as well. Slightly more surprising, but I think NINERIK can kind of ban whatever and be perfectly fine here.
Yeah, that No Mod 4 is an Aim Cup custom, which is like 8.7 stars and super high slider velocity, mostly straight sliders and then just simple curve sliders, but extremely fast, extremely long sliders. So kind of a pain. And Lex is really banning out more like slightly gimmicky DT stuff. DT2 is 200 BPM, but it's accel, decel, cut flow streams the entire way through the map. And then DT4 is just DT alt, really, for the most part. So banning out the less conventional DT picks there for Lexus. And first picking No Mod 1, which is no surprise. He did top score No Mod 1 last weekend across both divisions. Those stats sheets are cumulative across both tiers in the tournament, so not surprising at all to see this No Mod 1 first pick. The Destination Calabria by Alex Gaudino and Crystal Waters. This map, 128 BPM alt jumps, or more specifically 256 BPM jump aim in this map. There are a couple of alti patterns, but really you can just play this like a higher BPM jump map, and jumps are really it for this map. There's not a lot else going on. It's a loved jump spam map, and one that's pretty well liked, generally speaking, but is still going to do pretty much only aim for the entire map. And at nearly 8 stars, that's still a pretty difficult challenge for a lot of players. You're going to see a lot of people be relatively comfortable on this, but very few people get a really sizable combo on this map.
Yeah, I mean, despite the simplicity, it is still a very difficult map. I mean, Lexus's top score on the No Mod 1 last week was 500k, and the scores are only going to get lower as we move through the tournament, so it is the kind of map you do still expect to see quite a few breaks on. It's not like your RNG No Mod 1 is, as we're getting to this point in the tournament, the maps are getting incredibly difficult, even for some of the higher rated Tier 1 players, and into the first quarter of the map, looking pretty good from both players, but this is where the map really starts to pick up. This is where you kind of start to see potential for more misses, and a massive chain miss coming out from NINERIK. I think missed the first note and maybe just note locked after that. Lexus does trade it back though, so isn't going to get too big of an advantage off that earlier miss from NINERIK, but will be able to build up a 2% accuracy lead, which is nothing crazy, but you'll take anything you can get.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the players are in the wrong slots right now. So NINERIK is on the right in the blue slot, and Lexus is on the left in the red slot. We will have them switch after this, because switching it in tournament client, especially in laser tournament client, is a pain. So we're just going to have them switch after this. But for now, NINERIK on the right, Lexus on the left. And into the second Ki time we go. NINERIK a little bit behind at the start here. There goes Lexus, though. Finds another chain miss, and NINERIK able to hold on through the first difficult jump section. Another break for Lexus on the second one, and NINERIK still holding. Both of them finally drop the same miss there on the third difficult one. They both drop again on the fourth, and it is neck and neck at the moment. Accuracy pretty much the same. A little bit of a Bancho lag there for Lexus, and his AC goes up at the end, brings the score difference even closer, down to less than 1,000 in NINERIK's favor, a 0.5% accuracy in Lexus's favor, and 4 combo, I think, in Lexus's favor right now. So it is as close as it gets. A little bit of a break there right at the start here for NINERIK, and the score lead back over to Lexus at the start of the third Ki time. Another couple of chain misses to come through for Lexus, and combo once again with NINERIK. More misses for Lexus, a couple of slider breaks, and more misses during the back and forth jump section there. Another chain miss for NINERIK, though. This map is only OD 8.5, and so chain misses are pretty common. Once you start missing, it's hard to get back on track, especially as most of these patterns start expanding in spacing. Another couple of flowing patterns here right near the end of the map. Is there any chance for a comeback for Lexus at the very end of the song? I don't think so. That is going to be the win for NINERIK. A breakpoint to start things off in this match.
Yeah, an incredibly close one. Lexus would have loved to get that point, but NINERIK, such a strong player overall, obviously. Well known for the speed especially, but quite good on just about every other skill set as well. There's no free pick into NINERIK, but Lexus with a good showing, at least to start. Not going to be rolling over in this match, but it was an early break point. And so NINERIK does have the next pick, and unsurprisingly, going to go straight into DT3, Night of is that Firmament?
Yes, Firmament.
And
yeah, this map is kind of a multi-skill map with a lot of changing beat snap divisor, variable BPM, a lot of aim control, a lot of finger control, a lot of higher BPM bursts, some 1/6 in this as well as some 1/3, and it is a really tricky sort of map with a really high speed requirement and a really high aim control and finger control requirement. So it's not a map that you can get away, I think, with just not practicing and doing very well on. This is one that if you're not really, really well versed, you have to get a little bit of practice in, because there's a lot that happens in this map.
Yeah, and even if you have practiced the map, that is great. You still have to be able to play it, right? It's an incredibly hard map, and some maps, if you're not a DT player, you might just not have the speed for. I mean, Lexus had 300k on the DT2 last week. Now, of course, this is the first pick from NINERIK. This is not really a map you expect to win, but I think in this matchups, you really need to win all of your own picks if you want to have a chance, and so far that's not happened, and now Lexus needs a breakpoint at some point in this match. Thankfully, it is going to be first to 7, so there is plenty of time for Lexus, and I think NINERIK should be pretty confident, at least for the first few picks before the picks get slightly more difficult. And already into the map, we get some Bancho misses. It looks like both players are holding pretty strong, but the comfort level is already quite clear in the accuracy. We've got 99 from NINERIK versus a 93 from Lexus, and so far, I mean, it does show 40k points in the score. That's going to stabilize as we get into the map, but it more highlights that Lexus is significantly less comfortable on this map, more likely to miss, and has already found a slider break, dropping more 100s and 50s on the stream. But NINERIK does trade it back. The accuracy is going to matter a lot less if you can't hold on to a combo advantage, and so Lexus is going to at least keep this one close for now. As I say, it does find yet another miss, and this is a short map, already halfway through. NINERIK up by 150,000. Lexus is going to need a big miss from NINERIK to make a comeback into the second half.
Can we talk about the NINERIK hit that 9-note 345 BPM burst, by the way? That is a little silly. I mean, it's possible to hit that, but I didn't expect a ton of people to be able to hit that during the match.
I mean, if anyone was going to hit it, it would be NINERIK.
Another couple of breaks coming through for Lexus. It's the slider stream this time, and NINERIK Just on the one break so far, comboed the first half and has comboed the second half, hits the other 1/6 burst there. Again, 340 something BPM on those, and ends off with a very, very good score. 660k almost on that map. Is that just the one slider break? Yeah, S rank for NINERIK with one slider break in the middle of the map. Very, very good score for him.
Yeah, very much an NINERIK map. I mean, pretty much just, not even in this tournament specifically, just in open rank tournaments in general, NINERIK is nearly unrivaled when it comes to that raw speed. So if there was one player you expected to hit that pattern, it was definitely NINERIK, as NINERIK's going to be enjoying a pretty comfy 2-0 lead, has consolidated the breakpoint, and now we're going into some slider tech. DJ Mag's top ranker, of course, this has quite a bit of aim control mixed in as well. The hidden is going to make this tough, but I think Lexus has looked solid on the hidden, has looked on a lot of the no mods and a lot of the hiddens. So I think we're likely to see Lexus in general picking into aim and hidden, but NINERIK, quite a solid tech player as well. So it's far from a guaranteed point for Lexus, but you really need to start winning your own picks. And I think if you give up 2 breakpoints at the start, the match might be nearly over.
Well, we'll see how well he's able to do on this. This is the kind of map where you're really not expecting anything close to an FC. Most players, even if you get a pop-off score on this, you're looking at 250k, maybe 280k. 300k plus is a very, very good score on this map. And so I think that kind of sets the expectations here. You're going to look at most players getting around 200k, maybe 220k. Generally good scores at like 250k, and then pop-offs at 280k, 300k. So expect lots of breaks to come through. This is a very long map. It is 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And so there is just so much that can go right and that can go wrong in a map like this. Tons of really tricky aim control streams. And so far it's been NINERIK a little bit better on them, up 30k, 25k right now. Another couple of breaks to come through for both of these players are going to keep things pretty even at about that 25k mark, but more and more breaks on these aim control streams for NINERIK are going to bring the score lead pretty close to Lexus's side now. It's only about a 12,000 score lead for NINERIK off the back of the early combo lead he had at the very start of the map. And Lexus now with a couple of more breaks giving over slightly more combo to NINERIK, but NINERIK, these chain misses are just bringing so much score back over to Lexus's side.
Yeah, okay, well, that makes my point a little bit invalid, as Lexus finds 3 massive chain misses, finding about another 16 misses. I mean, this is such a brutal section, but NINERIK holds on and builds up about a 50 combo lead, which is nothing crazy, but every combo lead matters when there's so many misses, because it's so tough to build up any significant combo whatsoever on this map. And now there's a slightly easier section. You can still miss, but NINERIK is just going to enjoy pushing the score lead slowly. Does find a slider break, and that's going to give Lexus a chance back into this one. A big chain miss from NINERIK, but Lexus does trade it back. Now, in general, even though when these players are trading misses, Lexus is finding less of them, so is slowly bringing the score lead back. But then NINERIK is just finding the moments in the easier sections to kind of build that combo back up and take the score lead right back. But there's still half the map to go. The difference is only 30,000 points. Both players still very much have a chance.
Did NINERIK just snap that square stream? I'm sorry. He just snap aimed that square stream. What is that? What was that? Why? Why do you snap aim that? What? I don't understand. Okay, anyway.
Because you can, I guess.
I guess because you can is the answer? I don't know. That's... I have never seen somebody snap aim a square stream like that. That is silly. Yeah, okay. Sure.
Either way, both players do have really solid recovery combos, and this means if either player can hold on for even 50 combo more, you could bring the score lead back over very quickly. But it's Lexus who missed first. There's going to be a big trade of misses, but up 60,000 points, any trade is going to favor NINERIK as long as it's not a giant chain miss. Accuracy is honestly going to be pretty irrelevant, even though it's a 3% difference, as Lexus finds another miss and is just going to fall farther and farther behind into this ending. Now we've got a bit more of an ult-heavy section, and NINERIK, I think, is going to have a bit of an easier time with this one, as Lexus finds another slider break, and time is quickly running out for Lexus here. It's not completely over, but we're going to need to see some big chain misses from NINERIK, but the miss comes out from Lexus instead, and things are looking more and more dire as we get closer to the end of the map.
Yeah, this is already a pretty solid score from NINERIK. I mean, even 270k on this with Hidden is not a bad score, right? When we were talking about expectations for scores at the start of the map, we were saying, you know, yeah, 250k, that's decent. That's a good score. He's already up above that. He's close to what we were considering pretty good at about like 280k. Does he hit 300k plus? Because he's been comboing quite a lot of the different sections here. Less so the kind of aim control stream sections and more just everything else. All the finger control, all the slider aim, everything besides the iconic streams he has been really solid on throughout this map. Lexus now with a big combo, but drops it as soon as I mention it. And unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough for Lexus on this map. 318k for NINERIK on DJ Mag top ranker with Hidden. That's a good score.
Yeah, and you definitely see the idea behind the pick with Lexus. I don't dislike the pick at all, even in hindsight, because as you mentioned, Dio, NINERIK wasn't building up advantages on the aim control sections, right? We even saw NINERIK generally actually having a bit of a tougher time on those aim sections, but unfortunately the aim sections are so insanely difficult on the Hidden that the small, 20-30 combo advantage that Lexus kept finding on those aim control sections ended up being pretty relevant when NINERIK would build up, 150 combo advantages on the slightly easier kind of aim-heavy sections, and that's where it all fell apart for Lexus. But really like the idea behind the pick. It is incredibly hard to pick into NINERIK, so you really can't fault Lexus for that one. But we do have another pick from NINERIK, and that is going to be this Hard Rock 2. It's going to be CS6, so not quite as precise as the CS 6.5, but
that's before Hard Rock, I claim.
Well, that's before. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's CS 7.8 with Hard Rock. This is 4.5 minutes of CS 7.8, 145 BPM, aim control, wiggle, alt, basically. Lots of cuts, lots of 4-note bursts, lots of 6-note stuff, lots of longer wiggle streams, lots of cut streams in this map, and there's no breaks. There's not a single break that you get in this entire map. It just gets slightly easier during the not key eyes and then slightly harder during the key eyes. So this is just 4.5 minutes of relentless CS 7.8 aim control. And finger control. That's the whole map. It's hard. It's extremely hard. This is difficult no mod, and is severely understarred with Hard Rock. This is potentially one of the hardest maps in the pool, despite the no mod 4 being 8.7 stars. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I think you can tell that NINERIK is taking this match seriously, not taking any chances, has done some level of prep on the opponent. I think it's fair to say that Hard Rock has been Lexus's weakest mod throughout the tournament. Didn't touch it at all last week, and I think has been the largest kind of pain point for Lexus overall. Of course, it is unfortunate because I think oftentimes you would like to ban out that Hard Rock, but against a player like NINERIK, you're forced to ban out tap lane, and that leaves all 4 of the Hard Rocks open. Now, we do see earlier misses from NINERIK, whereas Lexus does hold on. So maybe this could be the map where we do see Lexus finally get a point back, break this win streak from NINERIK. But as you mentioned, it's a very long map. Lexus trades it back. We're going to see lots of misses throughout, and we've still got about 3.5 minutes to go. So it's going to take a while before the dust settles and we see which player comes out on top. Early on, things are going to stay relatively even. NINERIK now has a slight lead, but it's not going to be anything crazy, and unless we see another miss from Lexus soon, this score lead is going to stabilize and just slowly grow by about 1,000 every few combo, and it's not going to get out of control until we see another miss.
I'm just waiting for any big pop-off combo, and we might have one here now from NINERIK. Lexus finds another miss, and NINERIK... Okay, never mind. Yeah, no. I think the chances that this map sees any FCs this weekend whatsoever are as close to 0% as you can get in a normal tournament map pool at this star rating. This map is just... It's very hard. It's very hard to be consistent on. It's a very niche skill set. It is so easy to shake on precision in tournaments as well. We did see somebody get 800 combo on this earlier. Kahest in an earlier tier 1 losers bracket match did get like almost 900 combo on this, which was an absolutely massive pop-off score. So I'm just looking to see if anyone beats that, really. I'm not looking for any FCs this weekend because that's probably not happening.
No, exactly. And I think there are definitely precision players that, could FC this map if they really grinded it, but SCing the map in general and doing it in a tournament are completely different things. I think even the precision players would have a tough time with that. But talking about the combos, we've seen multiple misses from both these players. They're both having a tough time now, but again, NINERIK has already built up a pretty nice, comfortable 50,000 score lead, and what that means is every trade of misses favors NINERIK, as Lexus can't afford trades. Needs to find some combo advantage to start bringing this back, because this map doesn't get any easier. I mean, you have like easy sections between the Kiais, but this next Ki is just as tough as we've seen, and it's so hard to make the combo back up in the ending of this map. So I think Lexus, find another miss on back foot, and you can't afford to drop misses in these slightly easier sections, because now NINERIK has built that combo back up, and I mean, we'll likely find a miss in the next Ki, but now the score lead has grown to 80,000 points, and you're not making up 80,000 points unless you nail this ending.
And it's not Lexus nailing it right now. It's NINERIK nailing it right now. He is still holding some combo from the earlier, easier section right before this last Ki time. No shot he actually combos this Ki time, right? Like, that's not going to happen, surely. Okay, yeah, no. Not going to happen, but that is a very good chunk of combo from NINERIK to get him up above 300k here on this map, which is a really, really good score on this pick with Hard Rock. I'm going to check out what Kah's score was earlier, because this is already a really solid score. Very, very good stuff from NINERIK on this one. I think there was also a... this did also get played in Serbia Trucker versus Crazy earlier in that match. But yeah, Cast score was 324k with 926 little extra points there, almost 325k. NINERIK will have the top score of the weekend so far on this with 350k plus, which is a really good score there. And Lexus, not a bad score. 220k is decent. That is a pretty average score so far on this map. I think average probably is closer to 350k. Or 250k, excuse me, with the pop-off scores that we've had a couple of times. But, I mean, 370k so far is best score of the weekend on this map from NINERIK. So, very, very hard to beat that if you are Lexus, right?
Yeah, these maps, they're just insanely hard. Lexus feels like they're playing quite well, but ultimately, NINERIK is one of the tournament's favorites for a reason. Honestly, quite unlucky to run into NINERIK at this stage of the losers bracket, but it's going to happen to somebody. And I do really like this Hidden 1 pick. The Hidden has looked good for Lexus, the Aim has looked good for Lexus, and I think if there's one map left in this pool where you've got a decent chance of taking a point off NINERIK, this is going to be the one.
Yeah, this is one of the most normal maps in the pool also, which I think is good for especially like aim mechanics players. You want something that's a little bit more normal. Just AR 9.8 awkward aim 220 VPM. There's not a lot to deal with in this map. There's a couple of 1/3 streams here and there, a couple of triples here and there, not too many bursts. So this is a pick that is very straightforward, and if you are good at hidden, good at awkward aim, something you can be very strong on. This was originally mapped for Circle Circuit Championships back in 2022, which was a tournament where we had 8 of the best tournament players of the year invited to play in that. So should speak a little bit to the difficulty of this pick. It is still a very, very tough map. This tournament scaling is a little funny, but tournaments in general have also gotten harder since then.
They have. And here we go into the top section. NINERIK is going to find the first miss. And, if we think back to that No Mud 1, it was NINERIK who won it, but only by 16,000 points. It was anyone's map. Could have very easily gone the other way. And that's kind of showing itself here, at least in the start. Unfortunately, Lexus does find a big drop. And right now, it is just the accuracy making this close, as Lexus built up a decent combo advantage, but does find the miss, and that's going to even things out. Now NINERIK does trade, and this is a little bit of an easier section, so Lexus should be able to build up some combo again, take a small score advantage, but the question is how long can you hold into these brutal kind of square sections, because ultimately, if you find a chain miss right at the start of the tough jumps, that score lead is going to be wiped away in an instant.
OD on this is a little higher, luckily. It is OD 9.4, so a little harder to really, truly chain miss just because of the OD. And so far, it is Lexus really nailing this second KI time, the first part of the second KI time. And NINERIK finding a couple of breaks near the start of it. There goes Lexus. NINERIK will find another trade. So both players dropping combo pretty shortly after the other. And it's only about a 25 combo lead, now about a 40 combo lead for Lexus. NINERIK did have that combo lead to start there, broke a little later on, but all said and done, it's a 40,000 score lead for Lexus, about 2/3 of the way into the map. Not a huge lead whatsoever. And not a big combo lead for Lexus either, but pretty low combo on both players. So any potential comeback for NINERIK is going to take a little while here, and he's going to need to combo pretty much this entire last quarter and also hope for some breaks for Lexus. And if you are Lexus, that's a pretty good spot to be in, right? You just have to not chain miss a ton of patterns or hope that NINERIK breaks once, which is pretty likely on a map like this.
Yeah, we've seen NINERIK struggle on the previous aim sections of the map, and even if you find a miss from Lexus, you do have a bit of a buffer, but it's a trade, and once again, trades favor Lexus. Is going to be able to hold on to this 50,000 point lead, and Lexus going to get a point on the leaderboard, and that's going to feel pretty good after a tough start to the match. I mean, 400k, very solid score on a map as tough as this one, and Lexus, throughout this whole match, despite losing the no mod 1, has looked really, really solid on all of the aim picks. Could potentially look towards something like a DT1 as the next pick. It is a little bit scary because it's DT, but it could be a good option for Lexus. In the meantime, Hard Rock 4 pick is coming out, and we're in for a bit of a long one.
Tiebreaker 1 has been picked by NINERIK, it looks like. Holy Wars, The Punishment Due by Megadeth, mapped by B. Fisher. This is multi-skill, single genre, but multi-skill mapping in the Hard Rock pool. It is a really odd sort of map that goes variable BPM, first of all, has a ton of alt patterns, has some finger control, goes into high spacing aim, has a lot of high spacing streams near the end as well. But a lot of what you see near the start of this map is this kind of high BPM alt, low BPM stream style of mapping that then morphs and changes as the map and song speeds up, changes BPMs all the time, and changes style to account for that.
Yep. And this one is ultimately going to come down to consistency, right, on these long maps. The accuracy generally is a lot less of a factor, and it really comes down to who can build up these giant combos. I mean, I doubt we're going to see any FCs, but it's the kind of map where we could see some much bigger combos, and if you can get yourself a 500 combo advantage, you could run away with this one very quickly. Both players have found some misses early in the start. The other thing with these long maps is that small score leads can actually be quite big because the map is so long. It can take a very long time to make up a difference, even as small as 40,000. So a 20,000 point difference this early on is going to feel really good for NINERIK. And I mentioned the accuracy probably won't make a huge difference on this one, but if you're down by 10%, it will still be a factor. So we'll have to see if Lexus can recover this accuracy and kind of settle into the map a little bit.
Act for NINERIK, though, is just absolutely demonic. Nearly 99 on this is not easy at all. This is very, very good accuracy for NINERIK on this so far. It does drop a little bit of AC, but despite the combo lead for Lexus, NINERIK is ahead by 30k just off of the accuracy. Not even on the full combo. Did find that break near the start, about 100 combo down. But Lexus just not able to compete with the accuracy right now, down at 91, 92% for him, nearly 99 for NINERIK, and we're still just going to get more of this higher BPM low BPM stream aim control for quite a while here. So that break for Lexus does not bode very well for a decent chunk of this song.
Yeah, and these are the big combos that we're talking about. Once all of a sudden you have an 800 combo lead and you don't even need to hold it for the rest of the map, right? If you can just push this to 1,000 combo, even if you find the break afterwards, you're only going to be down by 200 combo, you're up by 87,000 points, and you're going to be in a really good spot. So NINERIK looking very good to start off this map, still holding that 99% accuracy. And while Lexus has recovered the accuracy slightly, not nearly enough to match the 99, and so far down in combo that it's not going to make a huge difference, and it's going to take quite a few misses from NINERIK for Lexus to come back because of how long this map is. 100,000 point difference is absolutely massive. It's going to take so long to bring this one back unless we see, I mean, I don't know, it has to be a 1k combo lead from Lexus, and even then, it's not going to go back super quickly with this accuracy. But it's a long map, right? We still have 3 minutes to go, so Lexus is not out of it yet.
There's still a little bit of time left in the map, you know?
Yeah, we have like a normal
like
length
3.5 minutes, actually, is what we have left to go.
So now we're playing a normal length map.
Yeah, okay, we've officially hit halfway. That means we have 3 minutes and... Oh, no, hold on. Okay, 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the map now. We're at the halfway mark. NINERIK is still holding this huge combo from earlier. We're into more of the snap aim section now, and NINERIK already finding more success in this section than Lexus. Lexus finding the break on some of the jump sections. The 1/6 not tripping up NINERIK whatsoever, and the jumps, he is absolutely crushing it so far in this map. This is a one hell of a lead for NINERIK right now, and a comeback for Lexus would have to be legendary if it were to occur.
Yeah, and that is the tough part about some of these really long maps, is that you can be down 1.5k combo, and at that point, your map is kind of just over, and yet you have 3 minutes of map left to be played, so you just kind of have to play your best, suffer through the last 3 minutes of the map, and now it's kind of all eyes on NINERIK to see what kind of score he can put up, and see if you can push this combo to, 2,000 plus is not far off, and I mean, this is an insanely high combo map, I think. I'm not sure if NINERIK can get to 3,000, but can probably get close with the combo left in the map, assuming we don't see any big misses, but does have some tricky patterns left to make it through.
Now, this does speed up a little bit here, but it also goes from 1/4 jumps to 1/2 jumps now, which means I think a little bit less combo density actually, despite the higher BPM. The streams get a little wonkier now. You still have a couple of 1/6 every now and then, but these are proper stream BPM now for the 1/4 streams. Tons of cuts in this section, tons of aim control. Once again, a little bit of finger control. You have the 4-note burst. That back and forth is absolutely demonic, and NINERIK somehow hits it, continues holding. He finally breaks at over 2,000 combo, but Lexus finding the break nearby, not going to matter whatsoever. It is a 320,000 score lead for NINERIK on this, and he only finally breaks right near the end of the map. He's going to be up above 600k, well above 600k by the time this is over. So an absolutely massive score from NINERIK on this map.
Yeah, I mean, really nice from Lexus to actually hit most of that pattern, except for the very last section of it, but when you're this far down, not going to make a huge difference, aside from, you can be happy you hit the pattern, and ultimately NINERIK is going to take the point, is going to be up 5-1, and now it's up to Lexus to find the next pick. There are still a couple hidden maps open, so that's likely where we're going to be looking. We could maybe see something like a Nomad 2 as well. That's something Lexus looked really good on last week, but any tapping into NINERIK is going to be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I have to agree with just kind of picking into the hidden here if you are Lexus, right? Yes, you lost on the hidden 3, but hidden 4 is still open. That is also much lower star rating than something like the hidden 3. And your otherwise best pick was the hidden 1 so far. Hidden 1. And instead it is going to be Nomad 5, the next pick for Lexus. A Lasting Promise by Lar, mapped by Zelk and Devious Panda. This is a Corsace closed, I want to say, custom from 2021, I'm pretty sure. 2021 Grand Finals. Been a while since Grand Finals in a 1v1 tournament had an 8.3 star Nomad 5, especially in Corsace closed.
I do have an important question for you. Are we picking speed tech into NINERIK ever?
This is just straight speed. This ain't even speed tech. This
oh,
is
even better.
Speed.
Yeah. How do you feel about this pick?
Not great. I'm gonna be honest. Not great.
Like it. I mean, it almost feels
we'll
like let me let's just pick me Nomad 5 so we can lose in peace.
I don't know. I mean, look, Lexus is also a very good speed player, right? It's not like this is a pick that is bad for Lexus in particular.
No.
Because he is also very good at speed, right?
Yeah.
And I think at this point in the match, maybe it is just Lexus saying, you know what, let's just pick comfort and hope he misaims something in the middle of the map and drops the FC somewhere. Is that super likely? Unclear. But so far, not too bad for Lexus, up a couple % in accuracy, up in the score department because of that as well. Does have a reverse choke going rather than an FC as compared to NINERIK. So it's not a bad start here for Lexus at all. And sometimes just picking your comfort and performing well on your comfort is enough, but that is not what you want to see if you are Lexus. A break there at the end of that long stream, and then a slow slider right after to give you a couple of breaks right in a row. And NINERIK still holding the FC, now up by 2% in accuracy. 98.6 for him, 96.6 for Lexus, with a 450 combo lead for NINERIK halfway through, still on the FC. And unfortunately, yeah, it might be comfort for Lexus, but if it's also comfort for NINERIK, who is one of the best speed players in the world, full stop, pretty hard to feel confident picking this kind of thing into him.
Yeah, NINERIK still holding the full combo. At the very least, Lexus has looked very comfortable on the speed, but is having quite a tough time with some of the aim after these bursts, has gotten caught out by quite a few buzz sliders as well. And here we go into the ending. The bursts get a lot trickier, much more intense, much more aim control heavy. And this is why we don't see anyone picking speed into NINERIK, because he's still holding a full combo, and we're pretty much near the end of the map. This might just be an FC, but they'll still have some very tricky bursts to hit. And yeah, we might just see a 99% FC.
Can't say it's unexpected, honestly. If there's going to be a 99% FC on any map this week, I feel like it's this map by NINERIK, and that's before this pick started up. Does deliver on, I think, probably the expectations for that map, and absolutely crushes it. FC 99% AC. Lexus, not a bad score, looked decently comfortable on it as well, but you're picking that into one of the best speed players in the world, and it's really tough to convert on something like that when your opponent is just that good at that skill set.
Yep, risky pick, not paying off. I mean, Lexus.
Oh, he did slide a break at the start. Unlucky.
Yeah. So not quite the FC, but I think about as close as we're going to see from anyone this weekend. And that was the break point. So now NINERIK has the pick, has a lot of good options still open, has the Hard Rock 1 and 3. Could even pick something like a Nomad 2 would be pretty solid.
DT1 still open?
DT1, all of these pretty solid picks for NINERIK, and NINERIK's going to be feeling pretty good here on match point, and it's going to be the hidden 2 instead. So switching things up, saying, I actually feel quite comfortable on this reading map, and I think we'll be relatively fine on it.
Not what I expected, I'm not going to lie. NINERIK picking the low AR hidden map here. Just pretty basic alt with low AR hidden. AR8 alt map. It's a lot less memorization, perfect stack overlaps like some of the other reading picks that we have had, including Spelunker this week and some of the other perfect stack reading memorization maps that we've had in previous weekends as well. This one is much more straightforward on the patterning, and it's just really hard. There's not an easier way to describe this. It is just a really hard alt map that's also AR8 with hidden. And so if you are very, very comfortable on your AR8 hidden reading and you are a good alt player, you will be just fine on this. If you are uncomfortable even a little bit on either of those, you are going to have a bad time. So far, both players looking pretty solid here as we get into things, but there's the first break for NINERIK. Lexus dropping quite a lot of accuracy on that pattern and then breaking afterwards as well. And so now, looking a little better for NINERIK once again on this map.
Yeah, NINERIK did have quite double the score of Lexus on last week's Hidden 2, so I'm sure that is informing the pick to some extent. We do see a trade of misses, but it was a chain miss for Lexus, whereas NINERIK adjusts the slider break, and that's going to be a big advantage because Lexus has dropped a ton of accuracy. Thankfully for Lexus, NINERIK chain misses right back and finds yet another trade and chain miss. That's going to even things up a little bit. Does have a 25,000 score lead, but the score can flip so quickly with any set of chain misses on a map like this. This is still anyone's game as both players find chain misses. This is going to come down to whether either player can find a bit of stability into the ending. Missing on that buzz slider is not going to feel too good, but this one's still within reach for Lexus.
Flame, I've always wondered, on maps like this, why do players simply not hit the notes? Why do they simply not just aim the notes correctly? Why choose to miss instead of hitting them right?
I mean, that's my question too. When I play maps like these, I just hit the notes. What can I say?
NINERIK is making the wrong choice right now. The score lead is down to 7K. Lexus has actually flipped the score lead now back into his favor. He has still missed quite a bit during this section. He still has lower accuracy, but it's not by much anymore. The score lead does start to go back to NINERIK as Lexus finds a couple of chain misses near the end of this KI time. But this is still pretty close between the two of them. More breaks for NINERIK could swap this back over to Lexus, but at match point, NINERIK brings the score back to his side just through holding a little better during that KI time, and it's suddenly 40K in his favor almost on this Hidden 2, and that is going to be the match. NINERIK knocking Lexus out of the tournament in loser's bracket and securing himself a spot in the top 8.
Yeah, dropping unfortunately to last week's top performer in NINERIK. Very solid performance, and honestly not a bad performance from Lexus either. Just an incredibly tough matchup that just about any player in this tournament would have a tough time with. NINERIK will be going on to play Carlos Flo in the next round, who actually won by default as Easy Chalk did FF, so keep an eye out for that one. We do have another match coming up this time around. It is going to be a Tier 1 winners bracket match, Welter versus Pigapone, and those are two players that had very strong performances last week, so expecting that to be a pretty good matchup.